wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Hey, morning everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess, and let's get in some front page news. Again, last night the Yankees won Game 4. They won 11-4. Game 5 is tonight at Yankee Stadium. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. NV, Charlamagne, and Lauren. How y'all feeling?
Great.
Good morning.
Good. All right. So the countdown is on, y'all. Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Now, 6 days away. And on top of the front page news, making sure you exercise your right to vote, man. So the Trump campaign, they claim that they're trying to distance themselves from the comments comedian Tony Hinchcliffe made about the Black and Latino community during a recent rally at Madison Square Garden, right? However, during a campaign speech yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, Trump spoke for about an hour and he touted the success of his rally at MSG, adding he is leading in key swing states and other traditional blue states. Let's hear those comments from Trump.
Politicians that have been doing this for a long time, 30 and 40 years, said there's never been an event so beautiful. It was like a love fest, an absolute love fest, and it was my honor to be involved. Republicans never lead in the early voting because for whatever reason, it's habit or it's a certain security they feel in going to the booth. But we never lead, and I don't know if we've ever led in early. Every single state we're leading in. Some states are in play that nobody thought would ever be in play, but I think people are seeing because, again, we're the party of common sense.
That's just a complete and total lie. Like, I mean, that's not
new,
even
though.
like that's not even remotely true. Like, I mean, that was like that. They're not leading in every state. That's just a complete and total lie.
I thought you were talking about the part of being a party of common sense, you know.
I mean,
I'm not sure. That too?
That too. That's debatable, I guess. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
So he did not reference the controversial joke about Puerto Rico that was made during the event. But, you know, yesterday he was in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which has a heavy Latino population, saying, quote, I will deliver the best future for Puerto Ricans and for Hispanic Americans. So y'all can take that how y'all want to.
Hey, I thought it was interesting how he just straight up distanced himself from the comedian. Like, he said he don't even know the guy. Mm-hmm. Like, how you don't even know what's going on at your own rally?
But gives them the platform. Right. Okay. So moving on. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris, she delivered her closing arguments to a crowd of 75,000 last night in D.C. on the Ellipse. I was there. This is the same spot where former President Trump told his supporters on January 6th to stand back and stand by as the crowd then went to the Capitol and did what they did. She told the crowd this election is the most important in our history, a choice between having a country rooted in freedom or ruled by chaos and division. Let's hear those comments from VP Harris's rally in D.C.
Donald Trump has spent a decade trying to keep the American people divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is, but America, that is not who we are. We have to stop pointing fingers and start locking arms. It is time to turn the page on the drama and the conflict. It is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Yeah, I thought her speech was very solid. She showed a clear contrast between her and Trump, which isn't hard for too many people to do, but she highlighted all the reasons Trump should never hold the office. She prosecuted the case against him. But for the people who don't care about that, she provided hope and optimism for the future. I thought it was solid.
Location was so tea.
Mm-hmm.
I was
the location was fantastic.
She looked super presidential, but also too it was just like checkmate. I see what you're doing there, sis. I got you.
Yeah, she was at the location where Donald Trump led his insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yep.
That's absolutely right. And then just let me speak to the energy because, you know, I will just say this was my first time at a rally, even covering a rally. Mm-hmm. And it was just super, like the energy out there was, it was amazing. Like it was crazy. And then the crowd was only projected to be 20,000 at first yesterday morning. By the evening, it was 50,000. And then the final numbers came out to be like 75,000.
Wow.
The crowd overflowed back onto Constitution Avenue, up towards the Washington Monument was. So it was absolutely crazy out there, and it was quite energetic, and you know, it was a little bit of a vibe. But I'm not.
What time did you get home? Leave it with all that traffic.
Oh, okay. So I have an escape plan always in DC.
Okay, all right.
I'm here, and so I know which routes to take. But I got home about 10:30. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. But I was gonna say it looks like we've got to wrap up though.
Yep.
Okay, well we got more at 7:00. You know we're gonna get into it. Biden got some choice things to say too. Okay, he's going viral about his comments, so we'll talk about that at 7.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. So let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Last night, World Series Game 4, the Yankees won 11-4. Game 5 is tonight. Let's go, Yankees. All right, well, let's jump into it. What are we talking about first?
Listen, the countdown is on for Election Day, okay? It's Tuesday, November 5th. 6 days away, okay? At the top of your front page news, make sure you register and exercise your right to vote if you haven't done so already in those states that have the early voting. So President Biden, he's going viral after responding to Tony Hinchcliffe's joke about Puerto Rico being a, quote, floating island of garbage. Let's jump right into the audio and hear from Biden.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. You know, he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top.
Yeah, so President Biden made those comments during a campaign call yesterday that, but added that, you know, of course, the Puerto Rican people are good, decent, honorable people.
Well, I don't understand why he's walking that back, because I mean, based off the examples he gave, like if you are a person who supports those examples that he gave, you are garbage.
Yeah, I think that he walked it back because of the number one, the backlash that he got, and then number
backlash
two,
for what though?
Because people keep pointing to in 2016 when Hillary made like certain comments about Trump supporters, they try to say that also was a part of the reason why she didn't win. So
maybe I got to hear it again. I thought he was being very specific. I thought he was talking about people who agree with, Tony.
That's what he meant, but he didn't get there specifically. He was trying to it was a little not nuanced, but like any gray area with Biden, they're gonna try and grab it. And that's what they did.
Everything with Biden is gray area. He's 97 years old. Everything is gray about Biden.
And I guess right now, everybody's so focused on the undecideds. They don't want undecideds to feel like,
people gonna feel what they feel. Like the gentleman that called earlier that was like, no, he didn't mean it as a diss. He was just saying that they do landfills. It's just like, come on, like, are you serious?
By the way, there's no undecideds at this point. Like that's just. I mean, there might be a few, but majority of people know who they gonna vote for, and I think we pretty much know who Biden was talking about.
We do.
Yes. I thought he was being specific, and he said people who support Donald Trump saying that immigrants poison the blood of America. I thought he was being very specific.
But you know how the media get.
All right. Well, meanwhile, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, she addressed the controversy surrounding Trump's rally at MSG on Sunday. Yesterday, Hochul visited a Puerto Rican restaurant in East Harlem, saying she wanted to show support to the community following the hateful comments made by the comedian. And here's what she had to say in regards to that.
They're CEOs, they're healthcare workers, they drive our Ubers. I mean, they're an important part of our community. They're American citizens.
She also is calling on the former president to directly disavow the remarks made at the rally. Meanwhile, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, he's getting annoyed with reporter questions related to his thoughts on former President Trump. This comes as Adams refuses to criticize Trump and disagree with the comments that Trump fits the definition of a fascist. Let's hear from New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
We're asking questions that is someone a fascist or is someone a Hitler. That's insulting to me, and I'm not going to engage in that. Everyone needs to turn down the rhetoric. And I know you guys really believe these stories you're writing. It gives you a lot of clicks. It's exciting and give you headlines. But this is not what New Yorkers and Americans are dealing with, folks.
So, of course, Adams is facing.
He trying to set himself up just in case.
I was about to say, he trying to make sure just in case
I don't make it home.
He can get that party.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Mayor Adams should be happy they asking about Trump and not him. What if the reporter said, you know what, Mayor Adams, you're right. What about your charges again? What if they bring it right back to you? Be happy that they asking about somebody else, Mayor Adams.
Right. So Adams is facing federal corruption charges, and he was asked if he was seeking a pardon from Trump should Trump win the presidency. And he responded by saying, next question. So yeah, to your point. But as you were saying, Charlamagne, y'all not sure who there's some undecideds. We don't know who the undecideds are. Well, maybe Vice President Mike Pence or former Vice President Mike Pence is an undecided because he's deciding not to endorse his former running mate, former President Trump, and he's also said that he's not going to endorse the Democratic ticket, saying that they just don't represent the philosophy of government that he could ever support. He also made comments about Trump in regards to January 6th, saying that he was hoping that he was going to come around and realize that he was just misinformed about what Pence's job was that day. He was saying that he was not afraid on January 6th, but he was very, very angry. I think that speaks to a major point that your former vice president is not going to endorse you. So there's that.
How come nobody gets mad when those white men talk like that? I hear a lot of Republican white men say that they're not going to endorse or they're not going to vote. And nobody ever gets mad at them and says, you don't, like I see this thing going around saying, you don't ever hear other communities telling their folks not to vote. That might be true, but they definitely say they're not voting. Mm-hmm. Those high-ranking elected officials be saying they're not voting.
Or they say out loud who they're voting for.
This may be part of a larger issue within the Republican Party because during those comments that Mike Pence made yesterday, this happened at a luncheon yesterday in Long Island, he actually said there are voices in the Republican Party who are prepared to walk away from our allies and American leadership in the world and voices that are marginalizing the sanctity of life. So this could be the sign of a bigger issue within the Republican Party. He said he doesn't like the direction that the party is going in. So we'll see what happens there.
I say it all the time. I don't know why they let Donald Trump hijack the Republican Party the way that they have. I do not, MAGA, period. I don't know why they let MAGA hijack the Republican Party. It's ridiculous.
But you know what? Nikki Haley, she's going to stick beside him. She says she is going to vote for former President Donald Trump. In her words, she says, we know what we're going to get. In an interview with Fox News yesterday, the former UN ambassador, that's United Nations ambassador and former South Carolina governor, Nikki Haley, said under President Trump, we know how strong he was on border and how energy dominant the U.S. was. One of Trump's strongest rivals, and she was one of Trump's, of course, strongest rivals early on in the campaign, but she says she doesn't have to agree with him 100% to vote for him, but she did agree he should change his messaging to women. Let's hear some audio from Nikki Haley.
Last time I talked to them was back in June. I mean, they're very aware that we're on standby. They know that we would be there to help. I've helped with some fundraising letters and text messages and those types of things. So we've done that. But look, we're on the same team. It is their campaign's decision on what he needs in these last final days. It does not bother me at all. They also need to look at how they're talking about women. I mean, this bromance and this masculinity stuff, I mean, it borders on edgy to the point that it's going to make women uncomfortable. You know, you've got affiliated PACs that are doing commercials about calling Kamala the C word, or you had speakers at Madison Square Gardens, you know, referring to her and her pimps. That is not the way to win women.
Well, there you go. And early on in that audio, she was asking why basically she hasn't been on she was asked why she hasn't been on the campaign trail with the Trump administration or the Trump campaign trail. And she pretty much said she hasn't been asked, but if she was called to do so, then she would answer that
call. She's not going to be asked as long as she's going to say stuff like that out loud, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Nikki
I was going to say, 6 days left. Go just wrap it up.
Yeah, and Nikki's not going to be out there because she knows she don't even believe what she's saying. Mm-hmm. And when Nikki was here on the Breakfast Club earlier this year, she said Donald Trump is toxic and that he lacks moral clarity. She said he's made it chaotic. He's made it self-absorbed. Yep. He's made people dislike and judge each other. He's left that a president should have moral clarity and know the difference between right and wrong, and he's just toxic. That's what Nikki Haley said right here on the Breakfast Club. And she said, I think a lot of the things he broke need to be broken, but he doesn't know how to fix things again. Right. That's what Nikki Haley said here on the Breakfast Club earlier this year.
But you see how they sit beside each other, though?
She don't believe what she's saying.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm. All right, so that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media, MorganMedia. I'll be posting more from last night's rally. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network or download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank y'all. Happy hump day.
All right.
Peace, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.